Herbivore. Hench Herbivore. Good evening. How are we doing, people? Thanks for joining. Let's try to get my levels right. Adjust the level on my ting. Who's in the house? Toby Gosling. General Gosling, you are first. Dan. Private Dan is here. Pacino, Shelley Owen, Sergeant Half Greek, Vegan Noah, Angel Cooper, all the usuals. Anchorheads and crew are here under the guise of us three vegans. Hello everyone, it's Anchorhead. Finally decided it needs to be put on charge. Blinking thing. I've messaged the YouTube, what are they called? Anyway, some people who can like help with issues, but they just take forever to get back. So hopefully we'll hear back from them soon though. Partner manager, I think is the phrase. Eliza's here. Do check out Eliza's channel and Anchorhead's channel, except you can't see her channel just yet. General Langley is here. Good to see you. Fitness, when does the streak start? Right now. Ooh. There you go. Ask and thou shall receive. Also, I'm too hot. Have I got thermal socks on? I think I've got thermal socks on. We got soaked. Oh yeah, my socks are soaked as well. We got soaked. It was like torrential rain. I just had like tracksuit bottoms on. I had my tracksuit bottoms down, really thin ones. Me and Gemma got soaked through. But we got some cool things for the camp out. Gemma's got a couple of dresses, I think, or at least one dress. I was hoping to get like a sort of summery sports sort of coat type jacket thing, not like a, you know, like a posh person would wear, but like a, I don't know, like just a sporty type of jacket. Couldn't find anything in my size. The arms were too tight and then the waist was too baggy. It was ridiculous. I'm not even that, well, I suppose I am quite built, aren't I? I kind of forget. That alarm reminds me it's that time in the evening where I like to take my CBD oil. Code HenchCBD30 for 30% off your first order. Link in the description. Get it. 7. Okay. Chris Grant and the Hizzy, good to see you. Brennan, I'm about to do a full body workout after playing with the cats, and this is what I need to relax beforehand. Good stuff. Enjoy. Good old General Benham is here. Richard Benham, how you doing, brother? Good to see you as always. The Wind Waker, didn't he say 7 p.m.? Who's he? The cats aren't. He did. He is subject to changing his mind on occasion. I'm thinking if it's busy enough, I may do maybe 2, perhaps 3 hours. If it's busy, though, if it's quiet, I shan't bother. I'll just do like an hour, whatever. But I thought I'd come on early, so I'm not. If I can do longer, I'm not doing it too late, and then I can't sleep. Thanks, Wind Waker. Yes, good evening to you. Lieutenant Mayan in the Hizzy, how are you doing? Good old Chris Grant. Vegemet's having a little moan. General Vegemet, how you doing, brother? VG3, do you eat apples? Occasionally I eat apples. They're not my first choice. I tend to eat more when I'm cutting because, you know, they're quite high water content, so you get to eat a bit more when you want to fill your stomach up. Vegan Metalhead at $2.60. Hang on, I'm not set up. We've not had any activation codes lately, so I've sort of been forgetting. Shark did shark out of focus. Shark. Trouble is that always be out of focus because we've got a better camera now. And you still me, different profile picture. That is one cute profile picture. What is it? A My Little Pony? Lickety split, perhaps? Who knows? Thank you so much, my friend. That's a kind donation. And good to know you're still here. Fitness. What's the best way to use fresh peaches in a plant-based diet? My recommendation is to eat them. That was a bit facetious, wasn't it? Yeah, just, you know, you're best off, like fruits, mostly, just eating them raw. I would just eat them as a dessert with a good meal. Try to get all the different whole plant foods, so like legumes, whole grains, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs and spices, you know, and then I like to serve some fruit up after as well. Or if there's a salad, maybe you put some fruit in the salad. Just by mixing up your foods, different nutrients in one ingredient will amplify health benefits and nutrients in the others. You just get more bang for your buck. Food, what is that phrase? Not synchronicity. What is the phrase? I talk about this all the time. Synergy. Food synergy. I knew that would get there in the end. Michael made a comment on your vegan full day video. You did not give me a heart in the comment. Why? I can't see all comments at all times and do live, unfortunately. I can't spend every second in the comment section just in case someone comments. Perhaps we'll get to it later if you're lucky. I'm sorry if you're upset. I normally answer most people, at least within the first sort of day of a video. Shark! Metalhead, this is My Little Pony. Pinkie Pie is in it. That's a beautiful name. A lovely pony. Sarah Roberts in the hizzy. Angus, gorilla versus kangaroo, go. Don't worry, medical will be on standby. Well, that's good. As long as they're both consenting. Simone, I meant to say yesterday that Lidl launched their new vegan range. Is right. It's good, so I'm going to check it out. Gem?
Yeah?
Simone is saying that Lidl have launched a new vegan range. Apparently it's pretty good. We should maybe do a little video.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Nice. Do you want to make a note of that somewhere?
Yeah.
Do you have facility?
Yeah, I do.
Thank you, madam. Now I get it with the Wind Waker. Now I get it. Angel, I live in West Wales and there was a bug on my little for all the vegan stuff. Only the pasta and tofu. I'm dying for an LD. Oh. Round 2. Fight. Wind Waker, but I didn't understand what you said. Catsond. I don't think I said catsond. That cat just said something, though. That cat said a sound. Was that what you got confused with? Cowboy, you okay, mate? Was Timmy falling down the well? Yeah? Oh, okay. Yeah. Shut up, you little squeaky. Everyone wants to see you, don't they? Look, it's your adoring audience. Your eyes are see-through. Right. Let him say no. Angus, no, I meant who do you think would win in a fight between two hench herbivores? Me. You mean in a gorilla and a kangaroo? I think a gorilla may just have it due to their amazing power and great fangs. Timmy Thistle, do you like chili? But you've spelled it like chilly weather. So no, I don't like it chilly. If you meant to say chili with an I do like chilies, the peppers, and chili, the dish. So there's a range of answers depending on what exactly you meant. Don't ever say I don't give you value for money. Stacey, me and my other half are looking after a lovely dog called Molly for the week and also make everything better. Don't they jest? Don't they? Gem?
Yeah.
When are we doing that dog thing where you help people out? What's it called?
Borrowmydog.com or something?
We're going to get on borrowmydog.com and walk people's dogs who have trouble, doing too many walks. Not to be nice, just because we want to hang out with more dogs. Michael Jackson, do you recommend magnesium glycinate for vegans? By and large, I say get your magnesium from leaves and things. If you have particular trouble sleeping, though, despite a good diet, you might like to try magnesium threonate. Threonate. Actually, glycinate may be one of those ones that can cross the blood-brain barrier as well. Is it glycinate? Definitely threonate. Does magnesium glycinate cross the blood-brain barrier? Yeah, I've got a feeling that's one of those sort of sexy ones, isn't it, glycinate? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I think that's one of the two really good ones that more easily cross the blood-brain barrier, so that would help better with sleeping and things. So, yeah, glycinate or threonate I'm positive about. Glycinate, I think, is the other one of the two that's really good. It was on one of those Andrew Huberman podcasts, one of the early ones where he's talking about sleep. But most vegans, if we eat a healthy diet, shouldn't need to supplement magnesium. Angel, the way you pronounced Lidl made me chuckle a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Why? But it's my understanding that that is the correct pronunciation, with it being a German word. There was an advert years ago where they had a little jingle and it went like Lidl. But in more recent years, they have called it Lidl. So I wonder whether it's become like anglicised or something. Oh, you cheeky thing. Do you know, I had a really cheeky bus driver once. And Lidl was like one of the stops. The stop where I needed to get off. And I said Lidl. And he said, don't you mean Lidl? Well, no, actually, it's either Lidl or Lidl. So you can go for a running jump. And also, the customer's always right, so shut your mouth. Angus, fair assessment. Thank you. Yeah, I thought that was a good assessment of the fighting capabilities of a kangaroo and a great ape. Private Starmanas, hey there. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you again. Metalhead loves to camp in minus 12 degree weather rather randomly. Good for you. Very nice. Angel, borrow my doggy is amazing. Right, let's get on it. Starmanas, I must wonder, spicy food is actually bad for us, isn't it? Question mark. I think there's probably more positives than negatives to spices. They tend to be some of the healthier things to ingest, particularly like, turmeric is the most studied one, and that's got a whole list of benefits. It can help to destroy cancer cells by at least 3 different mechanisms. There's some good compounds in like capsaicin. Is that like the chili? The thing that makes chili spicy, that's meant to have some good benefits. Yeah, I'd say likely beneficial more than anything. Sorry, Windwalker. I wake up. I'm still confused. It's hard to keep up with everything. I'm so sorry. Steve, what foods do you recommend for headaches? I've had one for 15 months. Anything I should eat more of? It depends, what is causing a headache. But in general, a whole foods plant-based diet is less pro-inflammatory. So, if you're eating junk foods, if you're eating animal products, then just go more towards whole grains, legumes, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. Particularly some of the spices are very anti-inflammatory. Turmeric, you can stack that with a bit of black pepper to get more curcuminoids in your system, which are the anti-inflammatory compounds. Ginger is particularly good. I would just take in like a teaspoon of ginger in a shot of water, maybe 3 times a day, space it out. That should really help. You could try the odd CBD oil if you don't have luck just with your nutrition. That's very, very powerful anti-inflammatory. Link below for Honest Temp. You can get quite a lot of money off with my discount codes there. I hope that helps. Have you been to the old docs? Have they said anything? Michael Askew, good to see you. Brennan, how's your day? What a lovely thing to ask. It's been really nice, thanks. I've had sort of a day off today, really, up until now anyway. I did a couple of hours on Minecraft, just ponted about on there. That was quite fun. And then we went into the city centre, Gemma and I, looking for some stuff at Camp Out. I couldn't find a jacket that fit my arms but wasn't too big in the waist, but Gemma found a dress and stuff and some stuff for her hair. So yeah, just been mucking about, getting a bit of movement, but quite chilling out this morning. It was nice to have a little recharge, and now I'm keen to get live streaming and making videos and things. Yeah, it's just good to have a little bit of downtime occasionally. For the longest time, we didn't really take a day off for quite a while. Not really. Timothy, so what's the hottest chili you've had? Don't know. Carolina Reapers. They're meant to be the most naughty ones, aren't they? Aren't they up to like 2 million Scovilles or something? Yeah, great. Get them in you. Angus, what do you think of an open-palmed combat stance? Both open, one clenched. It's quite irrelevant, really. I mean, yeah, just whatever. It's you need to be able to, it depends if you suddenly get into grappling range, you need to be able to grab. Maybe at long range you want to punch, but maybe you don't want to smash your bones up, particularly if you're not much of a striker. So like a palm heel strike would protect your hand a lot more. Of course, you lose a little bit of range. So horses for courses, really. Mostly, if someone was to sort of start on me or whatever, I would have palms, and I'd be talking to them. I'd be saying, like, what's all this then? No, we don't need all this. But what really I'm doing is I've got my guard up so I can cover and I can strike quickly, but without looking. Yeah, so they're switched off. The minute you go like this, they know they're in a fight. If you're talking away, talking, boom. If they get too close. Yeah. So that's my little trick. Razard. Will my gut microbiome regenerate by itself after antibiotics if I eat right and take probiotics? So some people say it maybe never will be quite the same again. Other people are quite... we've not really got much great science on it, but other people say it should build up pretty well. The main thing really is to eat the foods that feed the probiotics, and the probiotics actually come in on those foods, so whole plant foods specifically. When you can take some prebiotics, they really want to be very strong though. Just like a 5 billion count is probably not going to do a whole lot, and even the best capsules, sometimes they're 6-8 different strains. We really want hundreds of different strains, so that may help. That's the only time I would recommend probiotics. It is after a course of antibiotics or like a bad bacterial gut infection. But yeah, they tend to just sort themselves out. But it just takes a little bit of time. But just basically smash in as many whole plant foods as you can. Don't drink alcohol. Don't drink tap water with the chloride. Watch out for toothpaste with antibacterials in there. Try to avoid them, or SLS specifically, or just try really hard not to swallow any of it. Rinse your crockery and cutlery well, so the antibacterials in the detergent, in the washing up liquid, don't get in your tummy. Yeah. Rock Hard 9690 just downloaded your ebook. Thank you. Can't wait to read it. My cholesterol is wow, 250. So I think most plant-based doctors recommend to get that. Total cholesterol around 150. Although total cholesterol is fairly irrelevant. The one you want to watch out for is serum LDL, specifically the so-called bad cholesterol. Apparently, there is no such thing as good cholesterol. HDL is associated with left heart disease, but it's not a causative. Association. It just seems to, because people with naturally high HDL have no less heart disease. So it's like a marker for something else, possibly inflammation. So serum LDL wants to be below, most of the plant-based doctors say 70 milligrams per deciliter. Some say ideally maybe 57, maybe the real holy grail. But yeah, you should be able to get that down very easily. Specifically, you need to be eating a whole foods vegan diet, but I'm guessing you know that because you've bought the old cookbook there. So yeah, lots of whole grains, legumes, fruits and vegetables, a little bit of nuts and seeds. I wouldn't even be going mad on them with a heart condition. Maybe 10-15% of your calories. Add in some foods like the spice amla, AMLA. It's powdered Indian gooseberry. That's particularly good for bringing cholesterol down. Hibiscus tea up to a quart per day. You don't want to be drinking too much because it's very high in manganese, but that brings the old cholesterol down. What else is good? Stuff with beta glucans in, so all the different mushrooms, oats are good. Garlic's particularly good as well. But yeah, just whole plant foods in general. Swerve the oils, particularly swerve coconut oil, palm kernel oil, and cocoa butter. These have the long and very long chain triglycerides that do lead to elevated serum cholesterol. Good luck. You should be able to smash that if you're serious, if you want it enough. Eat well, exercise of course as well. Rest well. Yeah. Oh, and just I would really, you don't want to be adding in like sort of salt as well, most probably in that situation. Stacey, I'm gonna look up borrow my dog. I don't blame you. Gem. She's deaf. I think she's got headphones in. I'll tell her later, Angel. Sorry. Foxy Blonde in the hizzy. How you doing, my lovely? How's sunny Scotland today? Good old Jack the Gamer. Timmy, do you like ciabatta bread? Yeah, it's tasty, isn't it? I don't know if you can easily get a whole grain one. It's nice though, isn't it? Dave, thanks. Doctor checked me out. Nothing wrong though. It's a real mystery. Just a constant more pain in my forehead. Might be a new daily persistent headache. I'm a bit hesitant to mention this because when I do, I have to do like a huge caveat. But you may look into, first of all, really research that you're the sort of person who should be able to get on all right with it, and you're not one of the people who definitely should not be doing it. But many people use microdosing. The sort of some of the hallucinogens. Many people use microdosing to stave off migraines, headaches, things like that. But of course, as I say, like they're not for everyone, so you would have to do some proper research before you go into that. But yeah, I would hope with a healthy enough diet. Of course, hydration is very important, so make sure you're super hydrated at all times. Rest well, make sure you're getting enough sleep. Yeah, but that's something else to maybe consider if you happen to be one of the sort of people who can likely get on okay with it and not one of the sorts of people who it would be not good for. VG3, does creatine increase muscle size? Yeah, in about 70% of people, 30% of people are non-responders. Specifically, it pulls more water into muscle cells, so that's volumizing them. So yeah, the net effect is that you look bigger and you are mechanically stronger. Sarah, is it bad to have a green protein smoothie every day? It's been so hot. Having a smoothie has been a very good option to drink my calories. What would you recommend adding to a smoothie? What do you mean by a green protein smoothie? So like protein powder and then like greens, like spinach and celery and different leaves. The one thing I'll say is not to have much in the way of spinach juiced, because you've got the high oxalate load, spinach, beet greens, the different types of chards. I wouldn't go too heavy on those, particularly raw. But yeah, it's good to add greens juices to anything like that. That's just going to give you more nutrition. In terms of calories, really it's sort of tropical and dried fruits that would really up your calories. I sometimes add oats to a smoothie as well, and like flax and chia seeds, or any nuts and seeds, I suppose. Good question, Simone. Have you and Gemma got a seitan recipe on gluten-free? Think of trying to make some. Hang on, have you and Gemma got a gluten recipe on gluten-free? So I'm a bit confused. So seitan is made from gluten. You know that, right? Yeah, we've got some recipes. Fairly recently, we did a chicken mayo recipe that is amazing. 10 times better than the Subway chicken. I think... What else have we got? Gem?
Yeah.
What? We've got some seitan recipes somewhere, haven't we? The chicken mayo one.
Yeah.
Is there any other? We've got other recipes, haven't we, somewhere? They're probably in vlogs, are they?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe we should specifically do some recipe videos. Let's just Hench Herbivore seitan. Oh! How to make seitan barbecue ribs. Yeah, we did a short copy. So here's a shorts video for some ribs. Boom. And didn't we make a pepperoni for the top of a pizza?
We did, but that was in a vlog again.
But if I put Hench Herbivore,
Pizza, will it show up?
what I eat or something.
It's one of the recent-ish ones.
I seem to remember we were over. The background might be the park. No, I don't think I can find it. No, we did.
Put all the recipes up into a book, shouldn't we? So
Yeah, we did do a pepperoni video, but I can't find it now. But yeah, you can easily Google or on YouTube seitan pepperoni. It's just basically loads of chili and stuff goes in. Stacey, have you ever played 2 Point Hospital or The Sims? I've been finding them really good for winding down lately. Yeah, I can understand it. Yeah, Sims I played quite a lot when I was a lot younger. I've not heard of 2 Point Hospital. Tell me about that. Jack, what was the difference between hypertrophy training and strength training? I always thought strength equals hypertrophy. So strength specifically, you're trying to get stronger. So you think more of like an Olympic lifter or a power lifter. And maybe they don't want to put weight on as such. So they're kind of more training the hardware, like the sort of the nerves really. It's like a hardware upgrade. Sorry, no, it's more like a software upgrade. Sorry. So your hardware is staying the same, but you've got a software upgrade to make it work better. And then hypertrophy is specifically, to try and build maximum size. So typically you're going to be putting mass on unless you're quite fat and you're trying to do a recomp where you're cutting and putting mass on at the same time. But yeah, there's a lot of crossover, People say, do you train for strength or hypertrophy? Well, yeah, I more specifically train for hypertrophy, but I've got a lot stronger in the 6 to 12 rep range than I was when I started 30 years ago. Do you know what I mean? I'm probably several times stronger in a lot of them. So I have gained strength, haven't I? Do you know what I mean? So, it's, and whether you do 3 sets of 10 or 10 sets for free, the volume adds up. So I don't know that it really is all that different, truth be told. I think those rep ranges are just more efficient. I think they're more efficient, and so it's easier to progress quicker, lower reps for strength and sort of medium reps for hypertrophy. Hi, Aslan. Dan just had Hasselback sweet potatoes for dinner. Yeah, those are great. See, I'm making courgette and black bean lasagna tomorrow. Is in the oven. Nice. Oh, from our cookbook. I was going to ask if it was from our cookbook. Enjoy. Yeah, I love that. That's a great dish. Angerad's phone is working. Yay. Are the I dare ask, are the emojis working? Yeah. Timmy, it will take 6 months for my radial nerve to heal, maybe longer. How do I psychologically move on? I don't know, man. Just we will always go through these hard times, and do you know what I mean? It will be over and done with sooner or later, and then it'll be 20 years gone, and you'll have forgotten all about it. Live for now. Don't live in the past with regret or in the future with anxiety. We have the power to make ourselves happy in the moment, should we choose to. It's not always so easy, but there's always something to be grateful for. And, if you're not locked away, if you've got your freedom, you've got a roof over your head, you've got maybe someone who loves you, you've got food to eat, you know, you're doing better than maybe half the planet at any given time. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's always something to be grateful for, and there's always people in a worse place. Yeah. Don't know if that helps. Thanks, Angus. Brennan, I hope you have more recharge today. 10 to 7. Thank you. Yeah, I'll probably take a couple of days off per week, which seems really naughty now because I've been used to working so hard. Aslan, looks like you and Gemma had a blast at the Indian wedding. How would you rate the food out of 10? 20. It's my favourite food, which is at least half the reason we went there that day. We more often than not, if we out, we eat there because the food is our favourite food. It's just super delicious, just so flavourful and fragranced and healthy as well. You know, it's a lot of healthy. Okay, you know, some of the dishes have a little oil in, but they use a lot less than most places. The chana masala actually has no oil, believe it or not. But yeah, it's real, authentic. It's not like Anglo Indian. It's real, authentic Indian food. We actually ate at the owner, VJ. He invited us to eat at his home once, and it is exactly the same food that they eat. So really authentic. Chris, I've got some ingredients for a homemade pizza. Also got some vegan pepperoni things. Nice. Aslan, how many grams of fibre should one aim to get a day? As many as you can without causing yourself distress. There's seemingly no upper window where more fibre doesn't increase lifespan, lower like stroke risk. Of course, we're all individual and depending on our past, like how good our gut microbiome is, some can handle more fibre than others. But really, I can't see any reason why it's not kind of the better up until a point, and that point is where you start to get like any gut distress. Benjamin Trois. You said that you use a water filter, right? Which one? I have a Berkey Light. Yeah, I have a Berkey. I think we have the second biggest one. I don't know if it's Imperial or whatever, just simply because there's two of us and we use a hell of a lot of water. Yeah, very good filter. Good choice. Foxy. Sometimes when I make my morning shake, I add chia and flaxseed meal. Also snap my turmeric. And B12 capsule right into it. Then there's these 3 drops before whizzing. Is this okay? Or keep the capsules? Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah. B12. You might be better to do the B12 first thing on an empty stomach. That's one thing I will say. I always do my B12 first thing before breakfast. Just one of those things which we really have a hard time absorbing as a species. Timmy, is there any reason why people become fat when they become dads? I see it happen all the time because they haven't got any time for anything else other than caring for their child, most probably. Aslan, Hench, what cheap vegan-based protein supplements or powders would you recommend? None of them. I really say that, you know, you get what you pay for, and to get like a super cheap powder or any supplement, likely it's going to be bad quality and likely it will be contaminated with like heavy metals and stuff. Not everyone can afford like a top end one, which is fair enough, but I don't have any knowledge on what may be better than another one in terms of cheap ones. It's just not something I've looked into. I imagine that, you know, most of them are probably like pretty horrible, really. They're probably all much of a muchness, although I can't say for certain. I would say at least try to get like a middle of the road sort of one rather than like a real cheap one. Maybe better. There's a report, the Clean Label report on protein powders. Only 3 protein powders actually passed it out of all the ones tested. So you might look at that and see if there's a slightly cheaper one. I know Vivo Life was passed with flying colours. Most of them didn't. Even the vegan ones. It's quite shocking. Timmy, do you like barley? Thinking about substituting from rice? Yes. Yeah, I like any whole grain. particularly now that I'm not gluten intolerant anymore. Eliza, why do people insist on telling you what dead animals they're eating for dinner and expect a positive response? Because they have never had to probably question their circle of compassion before, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they're just a bit sort of dim. And I think if they did get it, like perhaps they'd already be vegan. So I think in a way it's maybe to be expected. But yeah, I do hear you. Like people have told me before that, oh, they had a lovely time fishing. And I'm thinking, hello? Like, what? I'm vegan. Like, what? Why do you think you're going to get like a positive response? Yeah, so I do feel you. Sarah, it has protein powder, greens, mustard collards, chia seeds, and soya milk. Yeah, I can't see anything wrong with that. Brennan, Hench, would you program strength, cardio, conditioning, martial arts, and hypertrophy on the same days or space them out? Yeah, that's difficult. That's very difficult. I would probably go in phases. Particularly for a fighter, I would do like a strength phase, then a power phase, and then leading up to a fight, I would do an endurance phase, and I'd keep cycling through those. It's hard to improve all different attributes at once and actually get anywhere. So I think I would periodize the training and sort of emphasize whatever's the most important to you. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard when you're trying to do too many things, and some things are going to suffer to some degree. I think like AM and PM training is good. So maybe kind of strength stuff early on in the day and cardio like later in the day, like that would be good. But yeah, it's just hard. You just have to try and find the best balance for you. I've been there. Sometimes trained up to 4 times a day previously. But yeah, it's kind of diminishing returns. It's hard to do all the things. V3, is protein powder necessary for muscle building? Well, if it was, no one would have had any muscles until recent years. So I've got to say no. If you mean in terms of like serious muscle mass, like, so that people can see that you actually work out. Again, no, you just need to be eating enough calories and getting adequate protein, and you can get that from whole foods. A protein powder for a larger strength or physique athlete it makes it easier, it's more convenient, because sometimes you need a sort of bigger percentage of protein, and that's just more easily done with a couple of more protein-rich foods. But it can be done without. Angered says hello.
Oh, hi, lovely.
VG3, I only have money to afford 3 supplements. 2 of them are vitamin D, B12. I need 1 more supplement for fitness. Should it be creatine or protein? If you can get enough protein from your nutrition, then creatine. Else I would get the protein powder. For sure. Right. So not for me, for friends to eat. Yeah. I wondered if that's what you were saying. Aslan, did my message disappear? What are your thoughts on this? On what? I'll just go back. Oh, how many grams of fibre should one aim to get in a day? Was that it? I did answer that. As many as you can manage without any negative comeback should just behoove you in terms of longevity and lowered stroke risk, etc. That was the last question I saw. So whether I can't see a deleted question, so I'm going to guess it didn't make it somehow. Jack the Gamer, you recommend 3 days a week push-pull legs in the video 6 years ago. Do you still recommend that? Yeah, it's exactly what I'm doing. Oh, sorry, no, I'm doing twice a week frequency now. I think I actually prefer that for the masses now, if I'm honest. XP, particularly if people train like half-assed. I think in the past I used to train so hard that I couldn't have trained twice a week on the same muscle group, but now I prefer like lower volume, more frequency. I think that's a very good way to go. Seems to be like science to suggest it may be superior to just training once a week. XP, are vegan label products that say made in a factory that handles milk on energy advice fully vegan? Yeah, they just say may contain to like cover their backs, but it's all like washed down and whatever. Vegan Mooncat, subscribe to him, he's great. General Mooncat has entered the chat. How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Wagwan, not long till camp out now, eh? Sergeant Edgecombe, 2 Point Hospital is a funny hospital management game. For example, you cure patients with lightheadedness. You have a light bulb for a head. Oh God. Yeah, that does sound pretty funny, Stacey. Mooncat can confirm Namaste food is amazing, isn't it? Just. VG3 is cyanocobalamin the best B12? The jury's out, really. There's a bit of dissension among the plant-based doctors. Gregor prefers it. Clapper prefers methyl. There's sort of mixed reviews, really. I have a complex which has methyl, hydroxyl, and adenylyl cobalamin, just to really put the cat among the pigeons. Stacey, would you say that water filter size is enough for 2 people thinking of getting one? Me and Gemma got the second biggest one. So, and that does us really well. But I mean, it depends how much water you use, of course. Nostalgic Vegan. Hench, can you do a video on Eugenia Cooney? I don't know. I'd have a lot to say, really. I mean, I'm no expert on eating disorders, so I feel like it's not really my wheelhouse. And loads of other people have done them. Yeah, I don't feel drawn to. Really. I prefer to take on people who are at least talking about veganism in some way. Make it more relevant for the channel. Nully, I like to make my own fruit and nut trail mix, but the dry fruits has so much added sugar. It shouldn't have any added sugar unless you're buying like mango and papaya and pineapple and things. I just use things like chopped dates, raisins, sultanas. They sometimes say like oil on the pack, but if you look at it, it's less than a gram probably for the whole thing. It is real thin coating. It's really not worth worrying about. But yeah, figs. Yeah, most dried fruits come without added sugar. I don't think this is very well mixed. Gem,
Yeah?
could I trouble you for a spoon, please, when you come?
Yeah. Try the spoon.
Oh, a long one, please. Either a teaspoon or a tablespoon.
Here you go.
Oh, thank
What
you.
drink have you got?
I've got Viva Life Perform,
Oh.
but it's gone really thick.
Not used to seeing it in glass.
No.
Yeah.
That's blinking thick. Wow, we've nearly been going an hour. That's crazy. Jacob, if a vegan diet can reverse hair disease, I guess you meant to say heart disease, can our body also recover from eating hydrogenated plant oils and spreads and bad things? I don't really know. It's certainly best avoided, but our bodies are very powerful, and if we get out of our own ways, they are self-healing. So it's certainly worth giving it a go. VG3, is creatine proven to build muscle mass and increase strength? Yeah, if you're one of the 70% of people who are responders to it. Yeah, very good. Aslan, on the channel now this. I really don't know what you're saying. Oh, did my message disappear? That's the last message I got. So I don't know what's going on there. I think there's a few glitches with YouTube at the minute. So just to warn everyone. Michael Jackson, do you recommend iron capsules for vegans? No, I recommend real food. Even on the smallest amount of calories I ever used to prescribe for anyone, I used to get people 3.5 times the RDA for iron without trying. So if people are needing to supplement iron, well, I think like that's the least of their worries. They're probably eating the most nutrient devoid diet going, and I would worry for their longevity, in all honesty. Blixtes, Hench, do you sprout or soak your foods? No, but I should do. It helps with digestion and nutrient quantities. It is a very good thing to do. Daniel Teacher, are you vaccinated yet? I prefer not to talk about vaccines on air because the chat just erupts into a load of old BS that is really annoying. So sorry about that. Mooncat, my niece had a baby recently via C-section and baby's having digestive issues. Do you think this could be an issue? Yeah. There's C-section, not being breastfed. And what else? Oh, if babies are given antibiotics early on. Yeah, these are real horrible starts. I would recommend immediately doing like a vaginal swab and, cotton bud and rubbing it on the baby's lips. Yeah. A baby's apparently colon is all. We used to think it was actually sterile. We now know there is some degree of bacteria there, but certainly nothing like they need to have a good digestion. Hi Frida, how are you doing? Good to see you. Minkat, I recommended she got some vegan prebiotics for babies to see if this helps digestion. What do you think? It can't hurt, but I imagine she would need some... Oh, probiotics. You did say What did I read? Prebiotics. Yeah, it certainly couldn't hurt. Blixtes, can sleep reduce stomach acid? I don't really know, but if you slept too long and then weren't eating regularly enough, then you wouldn't have the minerals to build your stomach acid, I suppose. Yeah, I don't really know. It could certainly harm the gut microbiome, which could cause digestion and absorption issues. Aslan, this video hench on the channel now, this called Conservationist Tattoo Falcons to Stop Poaching. What are your thoughts? I can't make head or tail of that. This video hench on the channel now, this called Conservationist Tattoo Falcons. I don't know what you're saying, I'm afraid. It's because I didn't eat no meat. Called Conservationists. Is the word tattoo wrong there? Falcons to stop poaching. Sorry, I don't know what you're saying, Aslan. Please rejig those words a little bit. Or maybe my brain's just stupid, but I am open to that possibility. Mooncat, the baby had antibiotics for 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, that is not the best. I was born by C-section and I had no end of colds as a lad. Felt like every other week I had a cold. Yeah, vaginal swab, honestly. Vaginal swab. Nelly, I get dried cranberries and cherries. Yeah, cranberries are usually sugared because they're not very sweet. Yeah, I don't know about cherries. I'm going to guess from LD because it's like a cheaper one. So they're going to add sugar because it's cheaper than fruit. So that's what I would be. Oh, conservationists are tattooing falcons. I'll just get to this first. Any advice for kimchi? Give me constipation. I should go into probiotics. It's really the prebiotics you want, Daniel. So just eat like really well of whole plant foods. That's the main thing. They tattoo falcons as a way to protect them. I don't understand it. What are your thoughts on this? I don't know. It's really baffled me. It's boggled my mind. A, it's horrible that like that's even a consideration. But B, I don't really get. I don't get the point. And I'm sure the falcons don't want to be tattooed, but then they don't want to be poached either. So I just don't know what to say. In all honesty. Oh, Aslan, if you were trying to link the video before, that would be why your comment didn't appear, because YouTube doesn't allow links in live streams. They want to keep you on platform. Well, maybe that is on platform. But anyway, they don't allow links. So what is it about a tattooed falcon that means that they won't be poached? How do you even see a tattoo on a falcon? They're covered in feathers. They become less valuable when tattooed. I don't get it. How do you see the tattoos with the feathers on? Or like, what sort of tattoos do they do? Like an anchor or? It's really weird. What? I really don't get it. Is Cherry Max 1500 milligram capsules high strength Montgomery cherries good to take every day to prevent gout attack? I've got no idea. I would just say don't eat gout inducing foods like organ meats and stuff like that. I think they're the main culprits. Yeah, I don't have any knowledge of Max 1500 milligram capsules high strength Montgomery cherries, I'm afraid. Aslan, tattooed SOS on the beak. That's really weird. So I suppose it probably don't hurt them, which is something, but then like just to be held and like that must be really terrifying. So it's all horrible. But I suppose being poached is worse, isn't it? So I don't know what to make of it, really. I just wish people would stop being bellends. You can look at the video if you can. The channel is now. This is from 1 week ago. Thank you. Oh, I don't know if I want to see tattoos being put on a falcon. I hate it. Now this oith. Quite they power a lot of videos. "3D printing prosthetics can help save endangered species." Wow. Huh? Tattooing falcons to stop poaching. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like to see that. I mean, I can't imagine that after it's done they're too bothered. They probably can't even see it, but it's weird, isn't it? Why does that have to be a thing? Like, why can't people just leave others alone? Pees me off. What do you guys make of it? Oh shoot, Frida. Oh, I forgot that YouTube don't allow links. The news was from the Jane Unchained News Network. You just reminded me that me and Gemma were on Jane Unchained News. I don't think I saw the video yet. Have I missed it? I should have reposted that. I better just have a check. Thanks for reminding me. Network. News, not new. I'm sure that should have gone up by now. Maybe it's not out yet. 23rd of August. Yeah, I think it's not out yet. I know they were having trouble uploading it because they had a bad signal or something. Yeah, good. Whew. I don't think we've missed it. Oh, I'd feel really bad. Okay, back to the stream. Sorry, everybody. James Green, are you the James Green or just a random James Green? Alex, in chronometer, the required amount of magnesium or zinc, daily recommendations of people who work out or non-workouter. Non-workouter. Is there a big difference if you train? How much? I don't really know. I think like most of the RDAs are based on an average sort of size person. So, you know, if you need more than about 2,000, 2,500 calories up, maybe your needs for some things are elevated. I don't really know. No one's really not ever heard anyone speaking about that. I personally never go for the minimum like RDA. I like to smash RDAs because oftentimes these RDAs are kind of bare minimums to not get diseases. Well, I don't want to just scrape by. I want to be really optimal. So, but equally, you don't want to poison yourself. So there's that. Foxy Blind messing around with Snapchat while watching, having a beautiful little tiger snuggling into Paul. What? Well, I've got a tiger snuggling into me. I wish I did have. Meerkat, I put a shader pack on Minecraft. The Skywater and Lightning looks so much nicer. We should install on your channel. Oh. Okay, then. Lovely. Maybe I'll give you a quick call after the stream if I'm not on too late. I've sent a vid so you can see it. Thank you. You're very kind. I didn't ever hear of such things. Hungry Greek Mexican, Hench, have you seen the Taco Cat gossip? I tend to stay away from gossip, but by and large, if I can help it. Obviously, I do these response videos, but I'd really rather not even do them, in all honesty. Blake says, does bad sleep affect digestion and is sleeping late the same detriment as sleeping too little? Sleep affect digestion. I don't really know. It certainly can hurt your gut microbiome. So I'm going to guess, yeah, there probably is some issues there. And then, so sleeping too long. Yeah, I understand that that's not optimal either. It should be kind of 7 to 9 hours, supposedly. Unless you're sick and you need to sleep a little longer. For the longest time, Gemma was sleeping quite a bit longer, but over time, as she's got more well, she's needed less and less. So that's very good. I think she's fairly like on a fairly normal amount of sleep now.
12 down to about 8 or 9 at most.
Yeah, nice. Joe, I listened to my pal. Oh, I linked my pal to your channel, and she's refusing to get treated for celiac. Hope your channel can get her to think seriously on her health before it's too late. Thank you. Yeah, and me too. I'm glad to be of service. Thank you, Joe B. Aslan is off. Thanks for hanging out, dude. Have a lovely rest of your day. Oh no, it's the James Green. How you doing, my friend? Are you at Camp Out this year? We're looking forward to a little campy outie. Frida, oh, you were on Jane Unchained News, so exciting! I'll watch it later. We've been on. Have we been on twice before, Gem?
Once together, and I went on once, didn't I, on my own?
Ah, yeah. No, we've been on twice together, haven't we?
Have we?
Once, and then the second time their Bill came round.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is our third time, but it's not up yet. It's not quite up yet. It was meant to be, but they were having issues with their internet or something getting out. And thank you, Frida. Well, anyone got any comments or questions, hobbies or problems? What have you all been up to today? What's the plan? What have you got coming up? Talk to me. If you're new, introduce yourself. Where in the world are you? How are you? How's the vegan scene? And how is the veganism treating you? Get at me, dog. Hungry Greek Mexican, have a wonderful weekend. Truly enjoy all the input shared on this channel. Thank you so much, my friend, and you too. Thanks for hanging out, guys. If you wanted to optimize your nutrition, perhaps your health, your looks, your physique, figure, your sports performance, maybe you just want more energy. Check out my free downloadable e-guide if you haven't already. How to eat plant-based successfully. It's a complete overview of all of the things that you need to know so that you won't mess it up and become one of those very silly ex-vegans. Sarah, I'm eating lunch and waiting for my dad to wake up. After this, I'll be working on a Dungeons and Dragons game for tomorrow. I'm prepping for a writing seminar next week. So you're the DM, I take it? I used to play D&D when I was a little lad. I can't believe they're on the 5th edition now. I played like the basic Dungeons and Dragons, then advanced, and then edition 2. Yeah, advanced edition 2. I can't believe they're on 5 now. Jonas, what are your thoughts on processed sugar? Horrible, don't have any of it. How detrimental is it to health if you're a healthy weight, and salt as well? Both really horrible. I would not be putting either of those into my body, ideally. So the new science, really, that I've learned is that refined sugar, not attached to fibre, is the #1 dietary driver of Alzheimer's disease, which is now the biggest killer of UK residents, more than heart disease, if you look on aggregate over the last 5 years. So, I would not be eating sugar. I just wouldn't. No sugar. The only sugar I have is what's attached to fibre inside whole fruit. Fruit juice is bad as well. Maple syrup, honey. Any refined, pure, isolated, free sugar, not bound to fibre, is really horrible. I mean, it drives... It'll drive your triglyceride levels up. We know, which is not a good thing. It leads to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. If you're insulin resistant, it's going to give you more like diabetes-like symptoms. It's not healthy. And yeah, salt. Dr. Gregor at Nutrition Facts says that salt is the #1 thing, if people reduced it a bit, would save the most lives. It raises blood pressure, which is one of the very top indicators for your longevity. It raises your risk several-fold, I think, for things like stomach cancer. And it blocks your expression of this really good antioxidant, really powerful, called superoxide dismutase. And it does it at the very time when you want that at high levels in your bloodstream, aka when your nutrients and stuff, when your food's actually got into the bloodstream, there's going to be oxidative stress taking place inside like the, like the epithelium, the epithelial wall. But salt blocks its expression, so it's not able to do its job. So, yeah, I wouldn't be messing with salt or sugar. And great question. Sarah, I was the DM. I used to be the DM a lot. Yeah, used to have a lot of fun. Sorry, Janus. James, what about pink salt? I mean, you got like a tiny bit of trace minerals, but you've also got more of the top thing that people need to reduce to live a longer, healthier life. So, not so much. Napkin Prince, we've just answered that. Have you read The Salt Fix by James Di Nicolantonio? No, but I have seen Dr. Gregor's work at nutritionfacts.org and all the data on how he says it's the number one thing people need to reduce, even more so than animal products, and he is a staunch vegan, so they're saying something. Frida, what are you eating / drinking? So I just ate a big old Buddha bowl. I'm now drinking Vivo Life Perform Madagascan Vanilla Protein Powder. It's see-through. It's not even green. It's like orange. Why is that not showing up? It's not even green. Weird. Ashley, hi Hench. I was ringing for about 2 years a while ago. I felt great and looked great. And suddenly my close friend passed away and I turned to poor eating, exercising and began drinking. How do I get back in the groove? I don't know. I just really fell in love with a whole foods plant-based diet from looking at all the data on how the less whole plant foods you eat, the more processed junk animal products you eat, the more you drink, the quicker you die, and like the shorter your life, the shorter your health span, so you could live with several years of disability at the end of your life. So it's like you're a kid again. People might have to care for you, so they're gonna probably have resentment. You're gonna feel like a burden. And you're not going to be able to maybe like get around and like, is there any way to finish your life? That's if you don't just die of a massive heart attack. So just quite simply, I just thought I love life and I want to experience more of it and be able to do things. So, nutrition is 75% of the reason people die in the West. It's what we put in our mouths and what we fail to put in our mouths 3/4 of the time. So, and the rest, make sure you're moving, make sure you've got a bit of a social life, try to be of service, I think is important, rest, de-stressing stuff, so meditation, cold therapy, breath work. Just, people don't think of their future selves as them, so most of us don't bother. But if you can learn that this consciousness that you have now, it's the same one you had when you were a kid. Like your voice doesn't change inside your head, does it? And then in another 20, 30 years, time passes so quick and you're going to think, damn, like, why didn't I look after myself? Now I'm, I don't know, bedridden or, I can't walk very far because I've got angina and I'm just in agony and dizzy and tired and... Why do that to yourself when you can have it all? You can look amazing, you can feel amazing, you can have the potential for the longest, happiest, healthiest life, and the food is delicious. If you stop eating junk food for 2 or 3 weeks and you just eat real whole plant foods, it's just as delicious, maybe even more so, in all honesty, and just you feel so amazing. I challenge you to do a 3-week whole foods vegan eating challenge. Challenge you to a challenge. 3 weeks. Get yourself some great recipes and things. Get loads of good food in. And then after 3 weeks, if you're not sold, go back to your other ways if you want to. But I wager that you'll feel so good that you won't want to. That's just my little guess. You're welcome, Hungry Greek. Cambia Metallic Muses in the hizzy. Good to see you. How you doing? Sean, saw Sean watching you and wanted to join in. Thank you. And thanks, Sean, for watching. Sarah, I've published a few modules. What? Really? And right now I'm thinking about further developing a D&D board game I made for my little kids. Since one of my friends, little ones, loved it and kept asking for their own game set. You've published a few modules. What actual, what are they even called now? Is it still Wizards of the Coast? Is it for the actual company? It used to be TSR when I was into it, and then I know they sold out to Wizards of the Coast, didn't they? Is it still them? And yeah, so is it for the actual legit company that you've written the modules? That's very cool. Foxy, what is the matcha green drink you recommend? Is it a superfood? So matcha is green tea. It's the leaves. So you know, like your normal black tea, you know, that you builder's tea that people typically put milk with. So Camellia sinensis. Green tea is the same leaves. I don't know if you probably know all this already, but just for anyone who doesn't. So green tea are undried black tea leaves. So it's the same plant. And then, but of course, like typically you put those leaves in a tea bag and you steep the bag. You throw the bag out, but it's like you're throwing the greens away. It's a bit like steaming your kale, throwing the kale away and drinking the water. Like you've lost most of the nutrition in the tea bag that's gone in the bin. With matcha, it's fine ground green tea leaves. So you're actually swallowing the leaves. Henceforth, you get about 10 times the antioxidants and loads more nutrition. So yeah, it's tea. It's normal Camellia sinensis. It's those leaves, but even healthier than tea bags. Jonas, thanks for the answer. I'll stick to berries in my oatmeal then. Good for you. That's what we like to hear. Frida, I didn't thought fruit juice was bad. No, a lot of people didn't. I used to drink a lot of fruit juice as well. But yeah, according to the latest science, it is one of the worst dietary contributors to Alzheimer's disease, which is the biggest killer now of UK residents where I live. So no fruit juice for me. It's just fruit. It's in nature, you don't get like, well, you do, there's honey, but with whole foods, you know, you get the fibre, the sugar attached to fibre, and it is more slow acting, and that's helpful. But when you just rip the sugars from the fibre and just guzzle them down, it just plays havoc. It's not like a real food at that point. It's just been too processed. Satan Inside just popped in to say, if you're not already subscribed to also Hench Herbivore, remember to like this. Well, thank you very much, Satan Inside. How are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Frida, my sister's a salt addict. I should tell her to stop. Yep. There's a new video recently. I think it's Dr. Alan Goldhammer has just done a video on salt. He knows his stuff. Alan Goldhammer salt. I've not actually watched it yet. Filter. Upload date. Well, you need to reduce eating processed salt now. I'm going to post it. Boom. Here's a video all about the horrors of salt. You might want to send it to her. Ink speech. Really hardly any reason to play D&D nowadays when we've actually got electric powered equipment such as video games and Blu-rays. Well, maybe if you want to connect with some humans, might be something. Mind you could probably do that over the internet as well. I like D&D. It gets your imagination going. I think it's really good for kids, actually. Stacey, are you all ready for the camp out? Yep. I just need to get some new trainers. I'm holding out for these green ones from Hilo. Hopefully they get them in stock in time. But if they don't, I'm going to have to last minute get some black uns. But yeah. And I could do with a jacket, but I went in the city today. I couldn't find anything decent. Like, it was all too tight in the arms and too baggy in the waist. It was blinking annoying. Checked the tent the other day. It made a list of things to take. I'll pack now if I could. Can you tell I'm excited? Yep. We're too... We don't like camping, so we're just going to get an Airbnb. So we haven't got to bring off the stuff. But yeah, it's very exciting. Vision Tutorials PVT Limited. What do you think about that vegan teacher? Is she helping the vegan movement, or is she bringing unnecessary hate towards vegans? Yeah, there's certainly a lot of hate. I mean, at least she's making veganism in the... people are talking about it, but whether she does more harm than good, who knows? I've got no clue, really. Certainly wouldn't be my approach. But each to their own. I'm just glad that everyone's doing something. Jim, evening Hench, tried your sunflower seed, amazing stuff. Thank you. Yeah, it's really good, isn't it? Good thing to have in stock. Blixters, Hench, is date syrup bad? It doesn't have any fibre. In that case, yes. You can make your own date syrup with whole dates and water and just whiz it up. But you need the fibre in there. Ashley's in the hizzy. Thank you. You're very welcome. Oh, challenge accepted. Good girl. Keep me posted. I want to hear back from you weekly how it's going. I got my eye on you. I hope you do really well. Hi, Marina's here. Yeah, not seen you for a while. How report? Been a while. Only now I caught your live. Good to see you, love. How's it going? What have you been up to? Ink Sweets, any favourite memes you want to share, Paul? I don't really know any. I suppose I spend so much time making content that I don't really consume much content. So yeah, I've got none for you. I'm really sorry. I wish I had an answer for that. Frida and Taste Buds taste as well. Maybe I should do an all whole foods diet. Everyone should give it a try. You won't regret it. Sarah, yeah, Wizard of the Coast is letting players self-publish their own modules on a company-sanctioned site. I've done a few of those. Very good. Very good. I used to enjoy, I think there were two magazines. I think there was a Dungeon magazine and a Dragon magazine. And Dungeon magazine was like little modules. Did they call them modules? What did they call them? Like little adventures. What was the word? No, it escapes me. Someone let me know. Marina gets heartburn from caffeine. That's very common. Stopped drinking juice 5 years ago. Very good. Frida, I'm wondering if there are just green and black tea or white teas. Yeah, white tea is really young green tea, like the little buds. So that's actually different again. There is a white tea, and there's benefits to that. It's all pros and cons with the white and the green. Mincat is in a travel lodge for camp out. That'll do it, won't it? That'll do it. Frida, okay, I think I misunderstood. I guess I meant to say dextrose. What you get from eating fruit. We're talking about date syrup, aren't we? I can't remember now. Oh, fruit juice, was it you were referring to? Just basically, there's different types of sugars in fruit, like glucose, fructose. But they're all fine if they're in whole fruit form. But the minute you detach them from the fibre, then they cause havoc in the body, basically. Napkin Prince, have you read anything about Psalms? No, they kind of came into prominence after my time, really. So just for anyone in the chat, these are like performance-enhancing drugs, selective androgen receptor modulators. So they kind of act a bit like steroids, do they? I don't really know. I don't really know anything about them, other than what I just said, if that's even correct. So you'd have to put me straight. Callie's ethics. I've been having bad bloating and trapped gas a lot recently. Any advice? What are you eating? What are you eating now? How have you eaten historically? And how long ago did you switch? Marina, very good, thanks. Paul, busy with work and settling down in northern Maine, USA. No vegan restaurants. At all, but enough time to cook whole plant-based meals. Good for you. John Sardina. Hi, Paul. When you accidentally eat something not vegan, do you excuse yourself and deal with it or hold it in? As far as I know, I've not accidentally eaten anything non-vegan, mostly because I eat whole foods. So, you're either buying legumes or whole grains or fruits or vegetables, or, if it's processed food, which has got ingredients in it, yeah, you could potentially become unstuck if you're not reading the label very well. But I don't typically have that problem because I just eat ingredients. I don't eat processed foods with ingredients. So I've got no idea. I don't know that I've ever done that. I mean, I may have done it unwittingly, unknowingly, but it's rare that I'll eat anything that's not a whole food. And if I was to buy something, I would be scrutinising it heavily. All I can say is if it's an accident, well, it's done, isn't it? It's an accident. What's the point in holding on to it? You're just going to cause your body harm. And just in future, just read the labels a bit more stringently. It's just a lesson, isn't it? I've accidentally bought things once or twice since I've been vegan that were had animal derivatives, and so I will give them away to someone who else would buy them anyway. So that was how I dealt with that. American Vegan Chocolate, congrats on the new program. Thank you very much. I guess you're talking about our ultimate guide to plant-based nutrition. Yeah, that was 5 months of really hard labour, but we're really pleased to have gotten that out now. And thank you. Alex, have you tried keto diet for fat loss? Only says that supports this for faster fat loss. Yeah, I ate that way in the past. It's one of the most unhealthy diets going. It's typically a lot of saturated fat and animal protein. You can do it as a vegan. It's far from the healthiest diet, though. And it doesn't make you lose fat any faster. Initially, you'll drop weight very quick. But most of the weight you drop is glycogen and water, which is from the muscles. So, in effect, you're actually just making yourself, your muscles skinnier more than anything. Yes, it's not a good tactic. Makes your breath stink as well. Callous ethics. Oh, I see what you've done there. Callous ethics. I eat beans a lot, and I've been vegan for 3 years. I just probably every now and again. I mean, if you're eating varying amounts, when you first sort of go vegan, you don't want to eat completely whole foods. And you want to take a few weeks to slowly, ideally, eventually, you want to eat completely whole foods. And I'll eat 3 cans of beans in a day now, no problem. But when I was first vegan, it did cause me gut issues. But I just persevered. But for most people, you just need to do it more slowly. But what else are you eating? Do you know what I mean? If you're eating mostly it depends on your total diet. So yeah, I would say just lower fiber to begin with, and slowly over time up it. As your gut microbiome improves, you produce more of the Prevotella strains of gut bacteria that process fiber efficiently. Had you have been eating completely whole foods for 3 years, then I would say, you've obviously got a pre-existing issue which needs diagnosing. So in that case, you know, it'd be running some tests to see if you've got SIBO or an infection or, you know, whatever. You might try messing around with like FODMAP foods, like taking some of the different FODMAP foods out to see if that helps you in the interim. But that being the case, like that's just indicative of something's actually wrong there, and you do want to diagnose the issue and then treat it. I'll tell you a really good channel. It is called Goji Man, like the fruit, Gojiman, Goji Man. My friend Simon, he's a really good gut health like specialist, and he's done different videos on different issues that you can have in the gut, and you know, I'd watch a few of his videos, and if you find one that resonates, you know, he does offer the tests at cost price, and he can help to interpret results and you know, give you the treatment. I fell foul of SIBO about 3 years ago, and he helped me out, and I don't know what I would have done without him, to be honest, because that was horrible. So the last thing you want as a whole foods vegan is SIBO. So yeah, he's great. Maybe check out some of his videos and see if anything helps. Michael Askew, you lovely soul, kindly donated 10 great British pounds on the super chat. You lovely man. Thank you for that. No question. He's just supporting his local neighbourhood vegan YouTuber out of the kindness of his heart. You wonderful fella. How dare you? How dare you be so nice? He's put a smile on my face. Bless him. John Sardina, just the other day, the hot sauce had butter in it, didn't it? I know it's before. I wouldn't have expected hot sauce to have butter in it. It's not something I've ever heard of. So I could have become foul of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't, I wouldn't, it's just a learning thing, isn't it? And just perhaps we should, if we're eating somewhere where we're not in charge of the sort of feed, maybe it just behooves us to just double check everything, you know. But don't beat yourself up, because it's not helping anyone. You know, these thoughts that we have, you know, negative thoughts that often they'll leap around, you know, they create negative hormones that do hurt us. They do hurt our physiology. A lot of illness is probably just things that we're like worrying about or, you know, like upset about. It's not good for us. So be kind to yourself is what I'm saying. Frida, I meant to say fructose. Yeah, there's all different sugars actually in fruit. Fructose being one. Thank you, 40-year-old vegan. How are you doing? Foxy, my partner Stuart is watching with me tonight. He isn't vegan. What? I can't believe someone as vegan as you and your partner's not vegan. Stuart, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You've got a lovely lady there, and she's all kind and compassionate, and you're eating animals. How... I must admit, I ate more animals than anyone, so I can't criticise, but, yeah, come on, man, you can do better. She deserves better. Don't kick my head in. I don't really know what to say to talking round, Foxy, sorry. I was useless there. Yeah, you can have your bananas and kiwis, Frida. Stuart, what can I say to you to tempt you to having a little go at a plant-based diet? Can I persuade you in some way? Is there anything I can do to help just get you to have a little look at it? I'm not saying you've got to stick to it, but maybe just have a little try. I'll send you my where do you get your protein cookbook if you want, if that might tempt you in some way. Give it a try, just see how you feel. American vegan trucker, what would you say on plant-based meats like Beyond Impossible? A lot of them are really unhealthy. Of course, they're not whole food, so at the very least, they're not as healthy as the foods they displace. Oftentimes, they have coconut oil in, which is actually worse than beef fat, believe it or not. And like heme iron, which produces hydroxyl radicals in us, which are some of the worst oxygen-free radicals available. So if you don't want to kill yourself, I say stick to bean burgers rather than Impossible and Beyond burgers. But, you know, some people don't give a shit simply because they're not sick yet. And they think they're invincible, which they're not. So I'm glad they exist, you know, at least, you know, maybe some people are not eating animals so often if they're eating a bit of that. But, yeah, for your health, I would not touch those with your barge pole. The Wind Waker, it feels like you get bigger every live stream, Paul. Thank you. I'm feeling pretty good at the minute. I'm feeling like I'm looking good. The weird thing is I haven't changed weight in months, and that's on purpose. I'm maintaining about a touch over 16.5 stone. So what is that? About, I forget what it is now. About 230 pounds, I think. Is that right? I'm going to have to check now. Calculator. 16 times 14. 224. Yeah, I'm about 230, 232, something like that, pounds. So a bit, about 105 kilos, I think. 2.2. Oh, 102 kilos. That's pretty light for me, but I'm feeling well. I'm feeling nearly as strong as I ever have on some of my lifts. My bench press is way behind, but simply because I stopped doing bucket loads of steroids like years ago, so I don't expect that to ever catch up. But some of my lifts are actually on a par. It's quite amazing. So, and I'm a lot lighter. I got to 21.5 stone, so I'm now like about 5 stone lighter than that, but nearly as strong. So I've got to think I must look a lot more muscular. So yeah, that's very exciting actually. Yeah, and thank you for your kind words. Melissa, how much alcohol is too much? Any will raise your risk for disease, basically. It'll kill your good gut bacteria, known as the Prevotella strains. It'll feed the bad bacteria, known as Bacteroides. These create death and disease in the body. You're raising your risk for, liver disease, cancers like stomach cancer. And it's like there's no fibre, is there? So you're raising your risk for Alzheimer's disease, the top killer of UK citizens currently. I tip day to day, I just don't ever think about drinking. If I've now decided, like, if I'm going to go to like a family function or something where, like, it's not people I would typically seek to be around. Like, normally it's my own kind, and we've got so much in common, and you know, it's all about the vegan thing. If it's sort of normies, I just find a couple of drinks helps me to enjoy myself. It's like a social thing, basically. And I'm not just fed up the whole time I'm there. So never say never, but by and large, like a year may go by where I don't drink. So, but yeah, healthier not to. You're welcome, American Vegan Trucker. Ashley, thoughts on whole grain breads? Whole grain's good. I mean, the fact that it's been bashed down into little particles, not so good. It's going to act more like towards like a sugar. There's not going to be so much left to feed the good gut microbes in the colon. More is going to be absorbed into the bloodstream through the wall of the small intestine. And then you've got like additives, oils, particularly palm oil is really horrible for heart health. And then you might have salt, like sugars, things like that. If you can make your own whole grain bread, and you had control of the ingredients, I think like minimally, minimal ingredients, healthy ones. You can make like a half healthy one, but you would be better to stick to the whole, like the wheat berries, like the whole intact grain. It's always best to have things in the whole form, but I actually use a bit of whole grain bread. I look for one with lower additives, and I just find it useful. Like for me, because of the volume of food I think I'm getting about at least 4,600 calories, maybe more now. Something like a bit of bread, it just helps me to get the calories in without so much like volume. Like steamed grain or like boiled grains and things, they can be very voluminous. So it's an aid. But if I wasn't bodybuilding and I wasn't having to fit so much food in, I would stick to intact grains personally. And then the fact that they're superheated, like this dry heat cooking temperatures, you're going to create more like acrylamides, which are a suspected carcinogen. Apparently the science is getting a little weaker now. Like we suspect it may not be the case, but it's not conclusive. So you're probably better off with wet heat cooking methods like boiling your grains. Blix says, Hench, how can I make an optimal exercise program to build muscle? You probably don't have the skills. I would say hire a trainer. But it's all about balance, basically. It's all about balance. The main thing really is to be eating enough calories and protein. Like that's key. A lot of people forget that. And then you just need to be training hard enough that you elicit the hypertrophy response. You've got the stimulus for growth, but not so hard that you're overtraining. And we can all handle different amounts. It's really hard to say. For me personally, drug-free, I'm doing push-pull legs. I'm doing 18 sets on push day. I'll do a chest press, a shoulder press, a chest iso, side shoulder iso, like a triceps iso. Oh, I do some calf work as well on that day. Pull day, I'll do a row and a pull up or pull down. I'll do some rear delt work. I'll do some traps, some biceps, and some transverse abdominis, like the deep-seated core muscles at the front there. And then on legs day, I'm doing hill sprints currently. If I wasn't doing hill sprints, I would be doing like a squat movement pattern, maybe a leg press, maybe a lunge, some extensions, some curls, some kind of hip hinge, so maybe like a Romanian deadlift. And I'd probably put my calf training there rather than on my upper body push day. 18 sets, twice a week frequency. For me, drug-free, that seems to be very nice. But it's balancing frequency, volume, intensity, number of sets, it has to be in balance, and there's a myriad of different ways. But which exercises will be best for you? It's very individual. So I think working with a trainer for a little while could perhaps help to optimize things that bit more. White bread made your lentil bolognese. It got smashed. Good man. Yeah, I love that dish, particularly with a little nooch on the top. Super tasty. Michael is impressed with my 16.5 stone. I was 21.5 about 9 years ago. Hang on, I've been vegan 9 years. 10. Probably over a decade ago now, I was 21.5 stone. Just used to ache trying to walk along the street. Horrible. Don't recommend it. Foxy Blonde, thank you. Stuart will need to step up if he wants to become part of the Hench army. He was really called. Oh, good. I was hoping he didn't take offence. I didn't know if I was. It's hard to know how people will take things sometimes, but I wasn't meaning to cause offence anyway. Frida, there are some people who suffer from Alzheimer's where I work in home service. I was about being linked to eating animals. I'm very curious and I used to do the research myself. Yeah, I thought it was probably mainly animals, but animal products are hugely responsible. So it's the typical atherosclerotic stuff. I think animal products raise the chance to form amyloid plaques as well, which is another way that Alzheimer's develops. But actually, free sugars are worst of all. Like, so say refined white sugar, that's probably the worst dietary contributor to Alzheimer's disease. But yeah, animal products, really horrible. I recommend the book, The 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution by Dina Sherzai. They're a husband and wife neuroscientist team, neurobiologists, and very good. Let me just quickly grab the book. I'll do a quick little I'll just give you a quick little rundown. So there she is. It's got a load of good recipes as well. There's like a chart of low, moderate and high risk foods for Alzheimer's. No. Must be before the recipes. Come on. Here we go. Neuroscience, the Neuroplan Nutrition Spectrum. So these are the, can you see that very well? So beneficial foods: berries, greens, carrots, celeries, beets, artichokes, bell peppers, sweet potatoes, kale, the cruciferous, lentils, peas, flax, chia, mushrooms, black beans, kidney beans. They're all whole plant foods, basically. Some of the least beneficial, but still beneficial: tofu, seitan, tempeh, teff, corn, millet, coffee, green tea, herbal tea, avocados, potatoes, dried fruits. Just inside of beneficial, actually, was extra virgin olive oil. It says sparingly in brackets. So that actually may be slightly protective, but not half as protective as the whole food. So it's the only non-whole food that may be protective. But of course, you know, you're adding in lots of calories. It's a lot of pro-inflammatory omega-6. I don't really recommend it, but anyway, neutral is regular pasta, processed soy-based foods, faux meats, etc., whole coconut, dairy-free butter / spread, pickles, olives in brine due to salt, egg white. Wine is just inside of neutral, but almost to the harmful. And small fish are just inside neutral, but nearly harmful. And then harmful is, I don't know why this is like this. Sugary drinks, processed juices, sodas. So these are just inside the harmful. And then they get more harmful: milk and yogurt, turkey and chicken, big fish, pork, beef, organ meat, processed meats, fast fried foods, conventional pizza, sugary cereals and bars, butter and cream right near the top, desserts made with refined grains and processed sugars. I made a little mistake. So refined sugar is about the worst. It's right near the end, refined sugar. But actually, even worse than refined sugar, added salt. So salt really raises your Alzheimer's risk heavily. So I shan't be adding that to my food. Boom. So now you know. Nate Silver's best vegan channel, this one. I don't know that I have a favourite. To be honest, I don't watch a lot of YouTube anyway these days, because I'm too busy making my own. What channels do you guys like? I'm interested. Michael is off. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Vegan lovely. See you soon. See you later, my friend. Have a good one. Thanks for joining. Race lever in the hizzy. Miles, what supplements should vegan athletes use? Well, of course, like the B12, D3 in the winter months, as most vegans probably should. And then I don't know that there's many supplements that are particularly great, like for athletes. Creatine has a good track record for many, the majority of people. I like a protein powder simply for like a larger strength or physique athlete where you want a higher percentage of protein and not, to add more and more calories on, because most vegan foods have a mix of the different macros, don't they? So, but yeah, other than that, I'm not overly impressed. CBD is good for recovery and relaxation, so I like that as well. That's one that I would actually put in there. But other than that, that's all I really take for sports performance. Beets, leafy greens, more nitric oxide, that will boost your performance, but that's a whole food. White bread, can you explain the benefits of flax seeds? So the main benefits are twofold. It's omega-3, which is anti-inflammatory. It's an essential fatty acid, so we must eat these. Ground flax is a good source, as is ground chia. And then there's others which have different amounts. Oh, Sacha Inchi as well. Sorry, Sacha Inchi, which is I think it's an Amazonian seed that similarly has about a 3 or 4 to 1 ratio of 3 to 6. So that's good. And then the other major benefit is the amount of lignans, which are phytoestrogens, which people used to erroneously think were unhealthy. Well, actually, they're very cancer protective. Men with the most lignans in their prostate fluid tend to get the least prostate cancer. The only thing with flax is there is a degree of cyanide in there. As always, the dose makes a poison. Even water will kill you in high enough concentrations. But we should probably seek to not go too mad on flax seeds for this reason. Nutritionfacts.org, they recommend a tablespoon a day. You can probably get away with up to at least 5 and not be up against the safe, tolerable upper daily limit for cyanide. But why would you want to dice with that? That is a pretty heavy duty poison. So I stick to 1, maybe 2 max. Kenneth, hi Hench, what is your opinion on herbal teas? Do you drink any? Yeah, quite a lot. They're great. They're really great. They've all got their benefits. I like the matcha green tea, which is powdered green tea leaves. Actually, swallow the leaves, you get 10 times the antioxidants. Green tea is great. Hibiscus tea is the most antioxidant-rich tea. Lowers your blood pressure. You're not going to go mad on it because it's got a lot of manganese, so no more than about a quart per day of that. That's very good. Mint, the most antioxidant-rich herb. So I use that quite a lot. It sort of settling for the stomach as well. They're all good. Sometimes I have a chamomile at night. I've done most of them over time. The ones I tend to do on rotation, though, mostly it's matcha or green tea and mint tea and maybe chamomile in recent months. But they're all good. They've all got great benefits. Marina, I read somewhere that saturated fats could be to blame as well. I'm guessing you might be talking about Alzheimer's, and yeah, very much so. Nate, why is white sugar so bad if fruit is so good? I'm following doing the last 3 years eating white sugar. It's shit, lots of it. Isn't it sugar, just like sugar from fruit? It's just the fact that it's unbound to the fibre, so it acts more like a drug and less like a food. It's just, really, it's almost pure energy. But it is, other than salt, it's the second biggest contributor to Alzheimer's disease. It's just a different beast when you extract things. It just acts very differently in the body. You need foods in that. Historically, we've always eaten foods in their whole form. It's only recent years that we've invented the processing of foods. And no, it's really horrible. It's really horrible. It raises your triglycerides, leads to fatty liver disease, as I say, Alzheimer's. If you've got intramyocellular lipids, like fat inside muscle cells, it'll increase your diabetes symptoms. It's really horrible. Durian Rider is no nutritionist. He's a very silly boy. American vegan trucker, pasta or rice? Rice pasta. Pasta is processed, but if it's whole grain, the way it's extruded makes it slower acting again. So it's not so bad, actually. Rice, if it's whole grain, you know, you're getting some benefit from the whole grain. However, most whole grains, if you have 3 servings a day, confirm a 10% drop in cancer risk, all the different types of cancers, whereas rice oftentimes doesn't. This is because it has a high affinity with arsenic, or is suspected. That's why this is. It has a high affinity with arsenic. It's often grown in places like Central America, where arsenic was used in like pesticides, say in the cotton fields of old. And so, you know, not that it's going to kill you tomorrow, but you could just eat something that, you know, doesn't have that detriment and likely will give you like a 10% cancer protection benefit. So, yeah, pros and cons. Some rice is not so bad. I think black pasta often is fine. So I'd maybe go for that, or like wild rice, which is not even a rice. Blake Anthony, good to see you. VG3, do you eat fruit? Yep, I eat a lot of fruit. What is your favourite fruit? Honey mango. I just got through a box of those bad boys. And I've just got myself a big old watermelon. It looks really red and great seeds in there. So I'm really excited to eat that. Wind Waker, did you take steroids before you became vegan? Yeah, for years I've talked about it extensively. So I've done bodybuilding as a drug-free omnivorous eater, as a steroid-taking omnivorous bodybuilder. When I first went vegan, I was still taking steroids for the 2 years, and then the last 7 years I've been drug-free. So basically I've trained all the 4 different ways. So if anyone has any opinion on steroids, bodybuilding, you know, meat eating, vegan nutrition, what I would ask is, do you have experience, or are you just making stuff up? Because I've actually been there and I can tell you exactly how it is. Nate Silvers, I meant yours is the best. Hang on, what were we saying? Why is white sugar so bad if it's so good? I'm finding my advice for years eating white sugar on my oats, like shitloads of it. I mean, yours is the best. I'm not sure what you're saying, but I like your style. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, vegan channel, right? I love you. I love you in that case, and you can certainly come here again. And indeed you should. Rachel, this is strange. I've been vegan for over a year now and my ingrowing toenails are cured. I've suffered for years. Coincidence or whole foods plant-based? Who knows? Who knows? There's certainly a correlation there. Of course, correlation doesn't prove causation, but it's obviously not hurt, has it? That's interesting. Stacey, I like to watch Gaz Oakley's channel. Makes me hungry every time. That's the trouble. That's why I don't look at it too much. White bread. My father is diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. He's all about supplements and vitamins. Any food you recommend? Whole foods, plant-based, you know, with the inherent real vitamins and minerals. Particularly things like crucifers, so like your brassicas, allium vegetables like onion, garlic, leek, shallots, spring onions or scallions, or green onions, depending on where you live in the world. Turmeric with some black pepper. Yeah, these are some particularly good like anti-cancer, but whole plant foods in general. Lots of veggies. Richard, what is your opinion on apple cider vinegar? Thanks, Rich. Yeah, great. It's the only alkaline vinegar. I don't know that it's the amazing superfood that people tend to make out. Well, the manufacturers. I think there is benefits to 1 or 2 tablespoons in a bit of water 20 minutes before you eat. It does actually build stomach acid, apparently. So, you know, that might be a benefit. 52 LPJ. Hello. Any tips for losing body fat with a hernia? You don't need to necessarily exercise, but it's good to exercise if you can, but obviously work around your hernia. But just being a caloric deficit, so whether that's increased energy expenditure, decreased caloric intake, or a bit of both, ideally. That's all good. You're welcome, Nate. Marina, can anyone hear cowboys meow? It wouldn't surprise me. Armando, what workout program are you on currently? I'm doing upper body push, upper body pull, and then I'm doing hill sprints on my bicycle. So I'm doing 2 bodybuilding workouts, then 1 like HIIT cardio workout, but it's keeping the mass on my legs. It's getting me really fit, actually. I'm doing that twice per week, basically. So a mix of bodybuilding and HIIT training for the legs. I just find as I'm getting older, like it's just better for my legs and my low back. Like I do have issues where I've trained so hard for so long, and I just find I'm a lot more free and like pain free, and and like I say, it's not seeming to be a detriment. My legs are looking as big as ever, so that's good. Frida, thank you for the information on Alzheimer's linked to eating animal products. You're welcome. White bread is off. Gotta go by Green Giant. Green Giant. Thanks for hanging out. Well, I've been on for 2 hours. I think I might go and do some other things, shall I? Guys, I'll do 10 more minutes. I'll do 10 more minutes. Just get your comments or questions in. But then I better go and do some other things. Armando, my knees are taking a bashing lately. I can relate. Yeah, it's good to think about your longevity. It really is. Actually, it's fairly quiet, isn't it? It's fairly quiet. I might actually chip off because I did want to talk to Mooncat quickly. Yeah, change of heart, as it's quite quiet. I'm going to do one of these, despite what I just said. Thanks to moderators for keeping us troll free. Thanks for the super chats, keeping the beans on my toast, the walls from the door, and the cameras rolling. If you want to optimize your nutrition, but you've not yet downloaded my free ebook, I will invite you to do so. You know, it's how to optimize your health, you know, what things to avoid eating, what things to eat, what supplements to make sure you're getting. If you want to build muscle, if you want to burn fat, you know, just all of the things. It's a complete overview of all the basics, everything you could need to know to not F up and become an ex-vegan. And then, you know, if you like that and then you decide you want to do a real deep dive and really optimize everything, do check out our Ultimate Guide to Plant-Based Nutrition, which is a massive online course. Took us 5 months to put together, me and Gemma. Our cookbooks are in there as well, so it's real. Walk you through it, hand hold you, make sure that you got everything as optimal as possible for the longest, happiest, healthiest, cruelty-free life. Guys, thanks for hanging out. I'll be back on tomorrow, 7 p.m. GMT. I hope to see you then. Love you lots, guys. Take it easy, and thanks for hanging out. Love you. See you soon.